heavyweight champion Primo Carnera made the second defense of his crown against Tommy Loughran. The 270-pound Carnera was 84 pounds heavier than Loughran. And despite the fact that Tommy is 7 inches shorter, his boxing technique puts him ahead of the Man Mountain early in the fight. A battle of brawn versus brains. Cagey and fast, Loughran watches every opening to use his stinging right. He rocks Carnera time and again. Earlier in the fight, Tommy took rounds 2, 3, and 4, giving him a good lead. Outclassed, Carnera roughhouses with a backhand. He's pressuring, trying to work Loughran into a corner where the lighter man cannot maneuver well. 4 years older than Carnera, Tommy is 31, old for a heavyweight challenger. When Primo can get Tommy in a corner, he clubs and mauls away, trying to wear down the smaller man by sheer power. Loughran has taken some solid punches. However, Carnera usually scores only when his opponent is more or less stationary. The champ's bull-like strength is proving too much for Tommy. Loughran backtracks, trying to last the 15 rounds. He ducks a left and sidesteps as Carnera reels across the ring. The final round, and there is little doubt as to the outcome. Dupreme's stamina and size wore down the challenger. Carnera retains his crown against a game and clever Tommy Loughran, who dared to take on the ponderous champ and give him a boxing lesson. It was a different story for Carnera 3 months later when he faced a man nearer his own size. A big 6'3", Max Baer is still 3 inches shorter than Dupreme and 54 pounds lighter. Max's power punch topples Carnera in the first round. Baer rushes in to follow through and again punches the giant to the ropes. Carnera's one thought is to get away from Baer's lethal punches. The referee intercedes, points Baer to a neutral corner. Max steps away but returns to launch an attack with both hands. Carnera is trying to keep his left out to fend off the attack. The champ went into the ring a general favorite. He was considered too big and powerful for Baer, but they didn't tell Max. Baer moves in and explodes with both hands. Carnera goes down, pulling Baer with him. It's like a wrestling match. Max is all over the giant. He follows left with right, and for the third time, both are down. Later, Baer admitted he had been over-anxious to put Carnera away and had forgotten some of the polish that had made him one of the best boxers of the era. Carnera does better midway in the fight. Max uncorks his right-hand bomb, and Dupreme's in trouble again. As the referee moves to stop the fight, the crowd protests, and Baer's seconds yell, "Let him fight!" Baer moves in with the right and the left and sends Carnera to the canvas again. Carnera has floored 3 times in the 10th, but he refuses to take even a breather. He has heart, but Carnera is up against Max, the giant killer. In the 11th, Max knows he has the crown in his grasp as he pounds away. An overhand right sends Primo down for a 2 count. That's the 12th time Carnera has gone down. Baer follows up his advantage, but watch. As they break, Carnera speaks to the referee. He's had enough. Max Baer is the new world heavyweight champion. Just a year later, Baer defends his title against challenger Jimmy Braddock. The Irishman was the Cinderella man of boxing. He was considered a has-been. Baer was disdainful of the challenger. Max went into the ring a 10-1 favorite, and he clowned his way through most of the fight. Braddock had started his comeback a year earlier. The night that Max had flattened Carnera, Braddock had won an upset victory over Corn Griffin in a preliminary bout on the same card. Braddock boxes masterfully on the defense, using a consistent left jab and blocking or ducking Max's ponderous swings. As Baer moves in, Braddock lands counter punches to the head. Baer is still clowning as the fight passes the halfway mark, mocking Braddock's punches and dropping his guard. Braddock is leading in rounds 1, the way fights were scored then, and Maxie can ill afford to fool around. Braddock is carrying the fight to Baer, who displays none of the devastating power that he unleashed in the Carnera fight. Baer's only hope of winning is by a knockout, but Braddock is boxing cautiously, giving Max no opening. At the 12th, Max knows he's trailing badly, and he gets desperate. He keeps pounding his right to the ribs, but Braddock is taking all he can dish out. Baer wraps his right around Jimmy's neck and tries to belt him with a left. He laughs off protests from Braddock's corner. An overhand by Baer at the bell gives Braddock another round. The final round. There have been no knockdowns in the fight, and Baer knows he has lost unless he can knock Braddock out. The referee, coming in to break the clinch, gets a cup on the ear from Baer. They punch toe-to-toe as Baer tries for a kill. The fans are on their feet screaming encouragement to Braddock. No champion ever successfully defended his crown in Long Island City Bowl, and Baer is about to join the ranks of those who lost their titles here. Braddock's smart, determined fight is bringing him the heavyweight championship as they slug it out right to the bell. The 10-1 underdog scores the upset of the decade. James J. Braddock, the man who made ring history with his fists.
majority vote, and still the heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Louis.
Jack Johnson, heavyweight champion of the world, defends his title against Stanley Ketchel in a scheduled 20-round bout. Johnson, much the larger man, he's 209 pounds to Ketchel's 160. A 49-pound weight pull for the big champion. When Stanley Ketchel, the middleweight champion, challenged Johnson, the whole world became interested in the outcome of this fight. Jack Johnson won the heavyweight title in Australia 10 months before this fight, when he knocked out Tommy Burns. Since then, Johnson has defeated all heavyweight contenders. Stanley Ketchel is known both as the Michigan Marvel and the Michigan Assassin. He's a great two-fisted puncher. The end of round one. It's pretty hot under this California sun, and the seconds get to work right away. These men hate one another. There's a lot of bitterness between them. Before the fight, Ketchel said some nasty things about Johnson, and Johnson said he was going to punish Ketchel for it, cut him up badly, and then knock him out. When Johnson fought Tommy Burns in Australia, Jack gave Burns such a terrible beating that the police stopped the fight in the 14th round to save Tommy's life. Ketchel is down. That was a terrific right to the jaw. Takes a count of 5. He looks all right. He's still got a lot of fight left in him. Ketchel's seconds keep yelling at him to cover up and make Johnson lead. But Ketchel keeps carrying the fight to Johnson. Ketchel had figured he could beat Johnson by getting in close and hitting to the body, but it hasn't worked so far. Johnson's been holding him off and outboxing him. When Ketchel does get in close, Johnson ties him up. The end of round 2. In the next 5 rounds, Ketchel keeps carrying the fight to Johnson. The champion seems overly cautious. Referees count. Stanley Ketchel, the Michigan Assassin, is his heavyweight championship of the world.
Tom Gibbons, brilliant heavyweight boxer, takes on the fast-rising young Marine, Gene Tunney. Seated in his corner, Gibbons waits confidently. Across the ring, Tunney looks equally sure of himself. As round 1 gets underway, Gene doesn't waste any time, using that left hand like a rapier. Gibbons is going to have to pursue his younger opponent. He knows that it's going to take an accurate head and body attack to slow down the brilliant boxing ex-Marine. Gibbons has certainly got his work cut out for him, as he's a 34-year-old veteran compared to the 27-year-old Gene Tunney, who is considered to be in the very prime of his great career. Gibbons turned professional in 1911 and has had 106 professional fights in the past 14 years, winning 104 and losing only 2. This is one of the most fantastic records in the history of boxing. Tom has fought 3 no-decision contests with the great Harry Greb. During that period of time, the only way a fighter could win was by the knockout route. If both fighters were standing on their feet at the end of 10 rounds, there was no decision rendered. But after those 3 fights with Harry Greb, newspapermen were unable to agree whether Greb or Gibbons had won on points. That's how close they were. Round one draws to a close with Tunney getting the edge on his relentlessly accurate jab. Here in round four, Gene takes on somewhat of a different strategy. Notice how it's Tunney who is now moving forward. He has apparently decided to step up the pace. This is a surprise to everyone. It was thought that Gibbons, a marvelous boxer himself, would have to chase the younger Tunney. But it's Gene, out-punching Gibbons at the rate of 3 and 4 to 1. That sharp left jab of Tunney's is constantly keeping Tom off balance. Gene isn't letting Tom get any type of an attack underway. Tunney turned professional in 1915 at the tender age of 17. Even then, he was 6 feet 1/2 inch tall and weighed 170 pounds. He had 15 professional fights, winning all, prior to joining the Marines in 1919. After winning all types of boxing honors during his service career, Gene came out of the Corps and took up where he left off. In 1920, he had 12 professional prize fights, winning them all, 9 by KOs. Here in the beginning of round 12, Tunney has taken complete command over the aging veteran Tom Gibbons. Gene is showing the strength and confidence which has carried him to 76 victories in 77 professional prize fights. It's all Tunney now. Jabs, hooks, straight right hands. Gibbons is reeling under the constant pressure. Gene steps in and lands a tremendous right-hand punch to the jaw, flooring Gibbons for the first time in his professional career. The referee's count reaches 8. Tunney moves in quickly and lands 2 smashing right hands to the head, which put Gibbons down for the second time. Tunney goes to a neutral corner as the referee moves in to toll the final 10. As Gibbons gets to his feet, Tunney moves in to console and congratulate his dejected opponent. 15 months later, this same Gene Tunney will become the 8th heavyweight champion of the world.
Gene Tunney, world's heavyweight champion, defends his title against Tom Heaney of New Zealand in a scheduled 15-round bout. We're in round one. Tunney, the taller man, with a crew haircut. Tunney's 191 pounds tonight. Heaney, 198. Fans here at Yankee Stadium tonight. Even though Tunney beat the great Jack Dempsey 9 months before for the second time, many fight fans still think Tunney is not of championship caliber. He's got to beat Heaney to prove himself. Tunney's a master boxer, but tonight he's up against a tough slugger. Heaney is really rugged. They call him the Hard Rock from down under. Now round 10. Tunney's one of the fastest men ever to hold the heavyweight championship. And he can hit from any position. Heaney's hurt. He's down, but the bell saves him. Now let's take a better look at Heaney's knockdown. 2 fast jabs and a right cross find their mark. Heaney's knocked to the canvas and he's out cold down the ring apron. But he's saved by the bell. Now round 11. The 60,000 fans are now cheering for Tunney. He's proving to all the world that he really is a great champion. In his eye, bleeding again. And he's badly tired, badly punished. But he's got plenty of heart. Stops the fight. It's all over. Gene Tunney, the winner by a TKO, and still the world's heavyweight champion.
Hello, boxing fans. This is Bill Stern, official film sports reporter, bringing you dramatic highlights from famous fights of yesteryear. For this one, we take you back to the old Madison Square Garden. In the night, Big Bill Brennan met Luis Angel Firpo, Argentina's famed wild bull of the Pampas. Firpo here for a shot at the great Manasseh Mauler and a chance to take that title back to South America. A big, awkward, stumbling sort of a fighter, but definitely a threat. And this was one of the milestones that led to his eventual meeting with Dempsey. Brennan gave Jack plenty of trouble when the two squared off in the same old arena. And the veteran warrior is trying to prove his right to stay with the top-notchers. For 10, yes, 11 rounds, Brennan has the edge on Firpo. This same Firpo, who almost won the heavyweight crown when he knocked Jack Dempsey through the ropes that memorable night in New York's Polo Ground. But Brennan will get in the way of Firpo's right. And the Firpo, well, his right is something that the South Americans are writing home about. In fact, neither of them are exactly tossing powder puff blows. And the battle is hard fought and close every inch of the way. Comes this, the fateful 12th. Brennan's edge on the Latin is waning. All Firpo wants is to land one of those terrific rights, and he'll close up shop for the night. Call it luck or call it skill. The wild bull finally tosses one of those haymakers, and Brennan hits the canvas, hardly knowing what landed on him. Firpo is waved to a neutral corner. And as the referee chants the count, it's all over. Brennan is wilted and whipped. He can't move. The referee has to help him to his corner. Dramatic finale to a career as colorful and promising as any man ever to enter the ring. In the center of the ring are two of the gamest little fighters and sportsmen ever to hit the cauliflower circuit. Barney Ross and Billy Patrol. Ross, the youngster who went on to rule the light and welterweight divisions, and one of the greatest champs the fight world has ever known. Meeting tonight in the New York Coliseum, they're dynamos in action. Fleet, fast, dazzling with the accuracy of their footwork and timely punching. It's a whirlwind of action. Patrol seeking to scale the heights, and Barney, a tough, wiry Chicagoan, just as determined that no Billy Patrol is going to block his path to glory. No pulling the punches between these two. They're scrappers right from the gong. You'd think a title was at stake. Round 6 of the scheduled 10-round go. And do you think they're slowing up? Not these two. That Patrol is a punching fool, and Barney calls on every bit of skill and ring strategy at his command. Although Ross went on to become champion of the world, experts rate this one of the grandest, gamest, cleanest, most exciting battles of his career. Not even the Ross, who drew the biggest welterweight gate on record, tops the performance he's turning in here tonight. Round 10, this is the finale, and boy, it's good. Barney's steady, consistent pounding has left its mark. Billy is jarred and jarred badly. These little youngsters are for all the world like fighting cocks. They stay right in there until one or the other tosses the final decisive blow. I'm going to stop talking for just a minute so you can watch this exciting finale.
between two great little guys. Affectionately, Barney puts his arm around Patrol like a couple of amateurs. Fighting for glory, they exhibit the spirit that's always characterized true sportsmen. Joe Humphreys raises Barney's hand, and the crowd knows that the best man won. This is one they're still talking about. For the first few rounds, Sharkey looked like 100-to-1 winner. For 2 rounds, Dempsey's wobbly knees are looking just like they did in Philadelphia. But Dempsey, still smarting beneath the Marines' victory, is determined to blast Sharkey off the map. The Manasseh Mauler is now the killer of old. He launches a left for Sharkey's face. And the ex-gob throws himself to the canvas, yelling the old familiar cry of foul. Was it foul? Did Jack Dempsey really land an illegal blow? Here are the slow-motion scenes depicting the action leading up to and including that momentous climax. Sharkey has been complaining to referee Jack O'Sullivan that Dempsey's body punches are low. The ringside experts say the ex-gob got the left on the nose that sent him to the canvas when he forgot the first law of the ring: never take your eyes from an opponent. Okay, whatever the verdict, here's your chance to see for yourself. You'll be the judge. Now watch closely. Here it comes. That's the way we saw it. Sharkey turned his head and woke up on the canvas. Whatever happened to Sharkey, Dempsey won the decision. A knockout that went a long way towards putting him on the comeback road for his return bout with Gene Tunney. An evening long to be remembered. Back the clock to 1935. That clean, good-looking colored boy is Joe Louis. His opponent, Kingfish Levinsky, a tough, slugging heavyweight from the sidewalks of the big city. Levinsky, a seasoned gladiator, cocky and assured, waves to his pals. A pushover, yeah, but for whom? Even then, the Joe Louis, who was to reap fame and fortune as the deadly brown bomber, showed not one spark of fear or emotion as he awaited the clanging of the gong. But now that the gong has sounded and the mighty Kingfish takes a stance in the center of the ring, you can see that even then the word was out. This guy Louis is a killer. Stay away, stay away. Levinsky's scared to death. Never tossing an effective blow, the big palooka's down and bounces back, paralyzed with fright. From what Louis did to him that night, and to a long line of those who faced him in the years to come, we can hardly blame him. Hammered him with rights and lefts to the head and body. The outcome is as plain as the nose on poor Levinsky's face. Goes again, pounded, clouted, hammered to the canvas with all the force that the colored boys command. Levinsky's a battered soul who probably wishes he'd have stood in bed. For those who've seen the champ fight, this is but a harbinger of things to come. And for Levinsky, they come none too soon. Sitting on the ropes, he's had enough. One round and the Kingfish is willing to let Louis have the crown in all the glory. Turn back the clock. It's 1933. It's also one of the last appearances in the ring of the late Joe Humphreys, the most colorful fight announcer ever to grace the squared circle. They just couldn't start a big match in those days without Joe bringing them out. Listen.
15 rounds. Principal. Winner. Meet the champion in June. The Italian. Goliath. 'Cause 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 'cause
fated clash this turned out to be. The Man Mountain from Italy, 6 feet 7 inches of towering Goliath, versus plucky Ernie Schaff. Few realize that tragedy is stalking the arena as these great potential candidates for the heavyweight championship battle it out in the center of the ring. Schaff, as perfect a fighting machine as ever laced on a glove, definitely a contender for the title. Schaff, one of the gamest, cleanest scrappers of all time. And what few people know, as he stands there taking the murderous blows of the 264-pound giant, is that Schaff is ill. Not long out of a sick bed, he should never have entered the ring. The experts could see it, and the longer the bout went, the more apparent it became that Carnero would crumble his opponent to the canvas. Johnny Buckley, Ernie's manager, left it to the boy, and Ernie gamely insisted that a contract was a contract. He'd agreed to fight, and fight he did. The powerful, lumbering Carnero never gave him a chance. Fate has destined the awkward Italian to wear the brief mantle of fame. Some destiny, some power, something way back in the cards has decreed that there is the next heavyweight champion of the world. But tonight there are few stars in Primo's crown. He's winning, yes, but against what odds? He's climbing a ladder over a boy who doesn't know the meaning of the word quit. Through 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 grueling rounds, the plucky Schaff stands up to his opponent. It can't last much longer. Launching a terrific left. Schaff is down. He's in utter collapse. The mob howls for the kill. They've come for a Roman holiday, and they've not been cheated. Little do they know that Ernie Schaff has fought his last fight, that he'll be carried from the ring to die. And as Primo's great arm is lifted in the traditional symbol of victory, a game little guy makes his final exit from the world of Fistiana. History of Fistiana is complete without the sensation that rocked the sporting world here in Philadelphia's vast, rain-soaked sesquicentennial stadium that memorable night back in September 1926. Jack Dempsey, the Manasseh Mauler, conqueror of giants and reputedly the hardest hitter of all time, versus Gene Tunney for the championship of the world. For 7 long years, William Harrison Dempsey has reigned as king of all heavyweights. Tonight, that mastery is being disputed by an unknown Marine, a fighting, scientific boxing leatherneck from the sidewalks of New York. When Dempsey took the title from Jess Willard on that never-to-be-forgotten July the 4th, 1919, Gene Tunney was fighting his first match. That he's come a long way in a hurry is evidenced by the fact that these two men have lured the nearest thing to a $2 million gate the sport world has ever heard of. It's a Tex Rickard promotion, and boy, back in those days, Tex knew how to put them on. The records he's hit have never been topped, but let's get back to the ring. Tunney, a brilliant boxer and a great puncher, personifies ring perfection. Tunney the boxer versus Dempsey the slugger. The weaving, crouching, dodging Dempsey, who's lost only 3 fights in all his long and colorful career. For Tunney, it's his greatest effort. Primed and ready, takes advantage of every opening, shooting punches that rock the champ on his now very wobbly legs. For Jack, this is a new experience. Usually, he's the one who's dishing it out. But this Marine has Jack's number. Round by round, he wears Dempsey down. By the 10th, the once invincible Manasseh Mauler is almost out. Breaks him apart as Jack hangs on, playing for the bell. 10 rounds it goes, and the decision sees a new heavyweight win his laurels. Joseph Eugene Tunney, today the only retired undefeated heavyweight champion of the world. Battolino, rugged, hard-hitting Italian-American from Hartford, Connecticut, defending his title against one of the most beautiful boxing punching combinations ever to step into a ring. Luigi Sardinas, they call him in Havana, but New York and the world knows him only as Kid Chocolate, the patent leather kid, the bonbon boy from Cuba. Sleek of hair, sleek of action, his every move a picture of perfection. Against the brilliant arc spotlighting the Madison Square Garden Arena this memorable night, Chocolate's body flashes back and forth across the ring in pursuit of the featherweight crown. Like jumping jacks maneuvered by invisible strings, the fighters dance through one of the fastest boxing exhibitions on record. Both are like lightning. Both possess the ring craft, the speed, the ultimate in punching ability to be found only in the light 126-pound athlete. The last round. fighters know that for one or the other, this is the end. And win or lose, the fans here tonight have seen a real fight, cleanly waged between two of the greatest athletes and sportsmen ever to trod the rosin path. Chocolate ready to scale the heights, Battleina determined to stay there. Only the ripping, slashing attack, the bulldog tenacity of the Connecticut man is able to survive everything the idolized has to offer. Battleina wins the decision, one of the greatest featherweight classics of all time. Scene, New York's historic polo grounds, and for 14 rounds, gorgeous George's idol of France and America has taken the blows of the Marine who's destined within 2 years to conquer Dempsey. And if ever a fighter showed promise, that man was Gene Tunney. Tonight, George's is fighting for another chance at Dempsey, and he wants it bad. The gallant Orchid man will never forget the defeat he suffered at Dempsey's hand in Boyle's 30 acres. But tonight, he's learning a lesson from another master of the art of leather. Tunney wants a crack at Dempsey, too. It's a step up the ladder for the fighting Marine. And the punishment he's inflicting on Carpenter seems more than mortal man can stand. Relentlessly pursuing him around the ring, driving him into the ropes, Tunney lands blow after blow on the fast-failing idol. Out on his feet, Carpenter flashes moments of supreme courage. The referee wants to stop the battle, but gamely the Orchid man pushes him aside, comes back fighting, and even manages to land the blow. Again, Tunney drives him into the ropes, every blow delivered with a cool, calculating efficiency for which Tunney was later to become famous. No killer, Gene preferred to batter his man from pillar to post, but Carpenter was not the type of Frenchman who knew the word surrender. He came to fight, and he stayed to fight. That bloody 14th he never forgot. The mob howls for the knockout punch, but Gene either can't or won't deliver it. He knows the gallant Frenchman is through, and he seems reluctant to strike him down. It's only a matter of seconds now. It can't go much longer. Carpenter is down. It's a technical knockout for the Marine and a stepping stone to his cherished goal. Carpenter's manager screamed in French that his boy was fouled, but there was no foul allowed to mar the victory of the American, who bested his opponent in one of the most thrilling duels of Christiana.
Tonight, Jack Dempsey battles Jess Willard.
1919, a year of drama. Big things are happening. The King of England and the Prince of Wales review the captured German fleet at Scapa Flow. Clemenceau and Wilson, Lloyd George and Orlando write history in the Treaty of Versailles. Rough Rider Theodore Roosevelt, that great advocate of Americanism, has gone to his last rest. In the world of sport, Babe Ruth, the home run king, is sold by the Red Sox to the Yankees for a fabulous sum. But 1919's big moment is about to take place. A heavyweight championship match between Jess Willard and the comparatively unknown Jack Dempsey. That's news, big and exciting news. And the man responsible for it is promoter Tex Rickard, the silent adventurer from Alaskan mining camps and South American pampas with his genius for ballyhoo and publicity. In Dempsey, he has a sensational young tiger with amazing speed and two murderous hands. In Willard, the biggest man to hold the title under Marquis of Queensberry rules, Jess has the muscles of a wrestler and the sheer power of a raging bull when his temper's aroused. He stands 6 feet 6 inches in height and weighs 240 pounds. His great arching chest measures 56 inches. Though half a foot taller and 50 pounds heavier than his rival, the tall pine of the Potawatomi is rated only a 5-4 favorite over the Manassas Mauler.
The big fight begins in just a moment.
The 70,000 spectators pack around the ring in the blistering sunshine. The championship belt of gold and silk is paraded for all to see, symbol of every heavyweight king from John L. to Willard himself. Gloves have been brought out now and fitted to their big-boned hands. The referee, Ollie Ficord, calls Willard and Dempsey from their corners for instruction. Now you can see what a difference there is in their size. Though a great athlete, the bronze challenger seems almost puny next to the giant he's about to fight. They listen quietly, almost without interest, to a story they know by heart. Sweat beading shoulders and foreheads. The crowd waits tensely. Who'll win? Willard with his fine jab and smashing uppercut, or Dempsey with his speed and the best left hook of all time? Round one coming up. The timekeeper jerks his bell cord. Somehow it jams, and Willard doesn't hear the faint sound over the excited yelling. He pauses, looks around, puzzled, doubtful. Say, what's going on around here anyhow? Where's the bell? There it is. So the big fight begins, and Big Jess moves easily into action. The mahogany-hued Dempsey circles, moving in and out with cat-footed quickness. The champion wants to keep Jack at long range with his poking left jab, but Dempsey won't let him do it. He's never still for an instant, bobbing and weaving around. It looks like a test of speed against power, and Willard has no chance to get set against Dempsey's speed. At such a pace, there's a lot of missing and a lot of clinching. It's bound to be that way, but it's only a warm-up so far. Each is trying to figure out the other's defense, to open him up, nail him with a punch. The challenger crowds keeps on crowding. The instant he's in the open, he moves back again. His left whips in tirelessly and often. The blows miss or graze Willard. Dempsey hasn't the range yet. Jess holds whenever he can, but that's Jack's meat. Nobody's strong enough to tie him up for long, and trying to hit him is like trying to hit a sunbeam that moves away. Dempsey's hands are in motion all the time. Willard tries to block with gloves and forearms and elbows, but he's compelled constantly to retreat. What else can he do against the endlessly moving little man? And when you're going away, you can't do much damage yourself. A champion is supposed to make the fight, but try as he will, it's far beyond Big Jess. But he hasn't been hurt yet. For all the charging, for all the blows, the tall pine has suffered no injury. He's clever, knows how to handle himself, and in spite of his great size, he moves around quickly and gracefully. No, the little man won't get him. They maneuver around the center of the ring. Now watch. There's that big left, and Willard's down. Up, sure he's up. Dempsey heard him along the rope, beating away with both hands. There's that catch again, and Willard's on the floor for the second time. The champion's dazed, groggy, but he's game. He's up again. The fist drumming on him. And down he goes. Falls along the floor like a wounded animal, crouching with his back half turned as he arrives. The mauler overwhelms him with a hysterical burst of fury that sends him to the floor for the fourth time. Dempsey stands over the stricken man, his fist cracked. The instant Willard knees are off the floor, Jack at him again. Jess is wide open. He has absolutely no defense. And he hits the deck again. Courage, just plain courage, instinct, whatever it is, flings him blind and staggering up to his feet. Willard reels around the ring, powerless, with Dempsey pumping right and left into him. Clear across the opposite corner, and there he's taking it again. How can the man stand it? And there he falls, his gloved hand feeling for the rope, trying to hold himself up. Then, painfully, he drags his racked body to a half-erect position. But a right smashes into his side. Other rights crash to the head, and Willard collapses into a sitting position, dazed and helpless, after the most murderous beating a man ever took in the ring. And there's the bell. But no one hears it. Dempsey turns away. He seems doubtful, puzzled. Turns, and others rush jubilantly into the rope square. It's all over. The quickest heavyweight knockout on record. Jack hurries out of the ring to avoid the crowd. But the timekeeper and referee Ollie Picord are yelling that it's not over. The bell had sounded before Big Jess was counted out. Where is the challenger anyway? Willard's chief second, Walter Monahan, and the other handlers have leaped into the ring to bring their man too. The champion seems helpless, but technically the fight is still on. Doc turns, rushes to the rope. Jack, hey Dempsey, come back. Round two, and the bell sounds again. Amazingly enough, Willard rises for the second round. Beaten as no man ever has been, he advances into Dempsey's raging fist. He jabs as though any jab could keep that tiger away from him. With all his wearied, broken body, Jess does his best to keep going. Why? It's no use. He hasn't a chance. But there's the tradition of all champions behind him. He has to fight even when he has nothing left to fight with. Jess may not have been a great champion, but no braver man ever laced on a pair of gloves. If he quit under punishment, no one would blame him. It's courage, nothing but magnificent courage that's holding him on his feet. No matter what he does, he can't get away from that tiger who's stalking him. His arms and legs are heavy with exhaustion.
salt sweat burns the gashes Dempsey's fists have opened. When Jack bores in and hits him, drives him around the ring, he can't muster enough strength for a dangerous punch in return. The seconds and minutes are ticking by faster and faster. There isn't much time left in the round. If he's to get his KO before the bell rings, he'll have to do it in a hurry. But Willard's only thought is to protect himself, and weak and tired as he is, it's no cinch to get him set for the finishing punch, even when he's driven helplessly back against the rope. He wobbles about and clinches, does his best to save himself from his relentless foe. There are only a few seconds remaining now. No chance for a finishing blow. It's too late. Mauler spins the champion around out there in the center of the ring. And there's the bell, and referee Picard sends his men to the corner. There's no easing up in Dempsey's attack. His left hook still thunders. In the clinches, Willard is no longer strong enough to make even a pretense of blocking the uppercuts that shake and hurt him. Still, the clinches are the only sanctuary left him. Out in mid-ring, he's helpless. He's lost all coordination between brain and hand. His efforts are pitiful. He was big and good-looking and smiling when he came into the ring. Now he's a lurching, tottering wreck of a man. Dempsey beats at him, in the body, shifting his attack for a moment from that pitiful face. A new champion's being born here, born in the torrid heat among the yells of 70,000 spectators, born in blood and effort and pain. It's bad for Willard, taking the hammer blows of the ring's greatest puncher, but it's no picnic for the man who's winning either. His lungs strain, his heart beats in his throat, his arms are like lead, but still he carries on that deadly attack. He pours leather at the giant who should have gone down long ago, who would have gone down, but for the heart of a lion and the endurance of a buffalo. Even the spectators are beginning to flinch at the sight. This is no fight, it's a slaughter, a massacre. Big Jess has no more chance than a babe in arms. Look at the heavyweight champion of the world. His face is pounded almost to a pulp. His tired, dazed eyes peer through a mask of blood. It's dripped down over his body, stained his trunk, spotted his legs. Even Dempsey's smeared with the sanguinary fluid. Each time the Mauler goes into the clinch, he gets more of it. Why doesn't the referee stop it? Why? But Ollie Picard comes from the old school. There's only one way for a champion to finish, they say, and that's on his back. But the bloody, half-blinded Willard won't go down, not even when the tiring Dempsey's blows stagger and hurt him more and more. And again the seconds are running out. The round's nearly over. And the impossible has happened again. Big Jess has lasted through this another murderous round with this roaring Dempsey. Now coming up for round 4, but Willard can't come out for the 4th round. His nose and cheekbone are fractured, ribs broken, half a dozen teeth knocked out, and he's hardly strength enough to rise and shake hands with his conqueror. In this most unusual of fights, an idol has been born. Dempsey the Mauler. Unusual, every second of it. The bell failed to sound clearly at the start. The champion was knocked down 7 times in the first round. The challenger left the ring and had to be called back. Willard lost his title while sitting in his corner. Every minute is crammed with drama, as the ring is now with yelling, excited men. Dempsey's in everyone's minds and hearts. Dempsey the killer, Dempsey the champion. They'll see him in action for 8 flaming years to come.
Ever wonder how Mother Nature can turn into a monster? Now, you can have your own personal copy of the most awesome forces of nature. You get a collection of the best scientific films ever assembled on tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, volcanoes, and earthquakes. You will learn from science what we now know about these monster forces of nature and what is being done to limit their awesome destructive power. You must call now, though, and ask for Monster Forces of Nature. This is a first-time TV offer, so you should call right away. We have come to fear what we do not understand about nature. Now you can get the best and most complete video ever assembled on the Monster Forces of Nature and learn some of nature's fascinating secrets of power. Send check or money order for $19.95 to Easy Products, care of Monster Forces of Nature, P.O. Box 4459, Downey, California, 90241, or call 1-800-635-2299. That's 1-800-635-2299.